How long should grief last? What's realistic? I've got good news and bad news. This has to be one of the most common questions grieving people have. Especially during the most painful times, it's normal to want to know when it will get better. So here's the good news and the bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. In some ways, your grief isn't going to end. I know that may sound pessimistic at first, but let me explain. In terms of when will your life be like it was before your loved one died, the answer is that it will never be that way again. And I suspect you already know that. But sometimes, we either put pressure on ourselves or others have expectations for us that make it seem like we could go back. Questions or statements like, "Have you gotten over it yet?" or "Shouldn't I be over it by now?" These include the assumption that we would somehow be able to hit a reset button and return to life as it was before. And that's just not possible. But now for the good news. You will feel better eventually, and the pain will lessen. But notice I'm not saying that it will get better tomorrow. And it is possible that your grief may worsen before it gets better. And I'm not suggesting that time alone will be what helps your grief. It helps to not avoid your feelings and thoughts related to loss, and there are some strategies that can help. The vast majority of people will feel better eventually. Okay, so when? How long are we talking about? Generally speaking, your acute phase of grief may last a year or more after the death of a close loved one. Depending on many factors, your personal experience may be shorter than that or longer, maybe even several years. I often talk with people who are worried that they are grieving incorrectly or worried that they must be doing something wrong. And when I ask when their loved one died, they say something like 3 weeks or 3 months. I'll be honest, you won't likely move past this acute phase in the first few weeks or even a few months. Grief doesn't move at the speed of the internet. Grief moves at the speed of the seasons. Just like you can't grow a garden or a tree in a day, neither can you expect grief to be done in a few weeks or a few months. I hope this helps you have some realistic expectations about the timeline of your grief, and perhaps you feel more normal about your own experience. I should mention that if you feel stuck in your grief in any way, it can be really helpful to get the help of a professional. I hope you'll check out my other video about the course of grief, which includes what to expect regarding the ups and downs of grief, as well as my video about grief bursts. Below, I'd love for you to share your wisdom on how long grief lasts, and please share this video with someone you think may benefit from it.